Hey everyone, so this is my review of Magnum P.I. Season 1, Episode 5, called Sudden Death, and essentially what this episode is about is that TC asks for Magnum's help to help with this father of one of TC's football players, who this father has been accused of murder. And this was a really, really great episode that I loved for the fact that it pretty much just solely focused on the relationship between Magnum and TC and sort of how all that played out throughout the whole of this episode. And with that whole relationship was really well done, with TC going to Magnum for help and stuff, and Magnum very quickly realizing why TC is so headstrong on this case, and the fact that it's very similar to what happened with TC's father. And I really loved how all of that played out throughout the episode, with the slow sort of reveal that TC's father was actually guilty of the crime, and that TC doesn't want this boy that he's coaching in football to live a similar life to what he had to live. So he wants to believe that this kid's father is innocent of the crime and wants to do everything he can to prove it. And that was really fun to see how Magnum sort of had to walk that line between that, because he initially believes that this man's innocent, but then more and more and more evidence starts to pile up to prove the contrary. And Magnum has to sort of dig through all the evidence to figure out what is truly going on there and who the murderer actually is, and sort of how all these different people sort of fit in there. And I really did love the whole sort of storyline around this murder case and how almost messy it was, and sort of how everyone played into it, and like who the actual murderer was, which the whole actual story being around this idea of a sort of jilted lover sort of storyline, and the truth being revealed around that the husband actually wasn't cheating, and that the sort of wife just got a bunch of wrong information and stuff, was really, really great with how it eventually all played out and like who all fit in there. But I do feel like the whole sort of storyline around the MMA fighter, I guess, is the best way to put him, even though he wasn't actually that anymore because of a bunch of other situations. And this fighter guy, and his sort of quest to gain money back from the murder victim, as well as his wife, and his sort of this murder victim's accomplice and stuff like that, was interesting, but I felt like it was also weird and kind of unnecessary, because it just felt very sort of rushed and thrown in there at certain sections, and I didn't really like that for that fact. But still, it did add to like the scenario of this murder and added more sort of players into who could be the murderer. Then everything with Higgins in this episode was interesting, with her sort of being the one who had to take care of the kid while Magnum and TC ran around to try and free this kid's father. Was interesting, with her not really knowing how to take care of a kid and eventually sort of growing a relationship with the kid. Then just overall, this was a really great episode that had a lot of very interesting and fun sort of moments in it, and it was just a really good sort of storyline that they did a really nice job of showing it and how everything sort of fit together and played out and stuff, and just I really, really enjoyed watching all of it. So yeah, that's my review of Magnum P.I. Season 1, Episode 5, called Sudden Death. So yeah, bye!